Hey, welcome to Weld.com, home of TIG time. Hi, I'm Mr. TIG, and we're on site in Utah Springs, Kansas in my shop. And we're working with a machine here called an Everlast 210 EXT. Now we did one part, aluminum and aluminum setup. Now we're getting ready to turn it over to DC to see what it'll do. Arc start becomes very, very important, and this is advertised as a 3 amp arc start, and that's pretty impressive. So we're going to go through and we're going to set up the machine, show you how to set the machine up for DC, at least for my recommendations for this part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bead on plate just so I can see how low I can get the amperage. And then I'm going to do an edge weld on top of a tube, not on the face of it. But I'm going to lay a bead right across the top. So if you're doing gun repair or things like that, it works perfect. So let me go ahead and go around to the front of the machine, show you my setup, and then I'll come back and do a demo for you. Okay, now the setup on this machine for DC, it's not a lot different. Just go through the functions here, and instead of AC waveform, you hit this button until you come to DC. And so this will be DC negative. Also, you need to know whether or not you're going to be on 2T, and here's the pedal insignia. So I've got that in play. I'm not going to do any pulsing at all. I'm on DC. Now let me scroll through this. My maximum amps right now are 80. I think I'm going to turn that down to maybe 70, just for the heck of it. Okay, as I scroll through here, I don't want any downslope. Ending amps is going to be 3 amps. So let's see if it really does taper down to 3 amps. And post flow, I've got 5 seconds. Now, not only does it taper off to 3 amps, does it start at 3 amps? And I don't know. I'm going to try it out and tell you what I think. So let me go ahead and put my gear on, and I'm going to do a live demo for you. Okay, I've got my machine set up on DC. I'm going to do a bead on plate first. And you know what? I'm not even going to use filler for the first part. I want to see how low the arc will start, and that's pretty critical. So I'm going to run a bead on plate without filler, going as low as I possibly can. So we're going to zoom in and let you take a look at the amperage and see if it really does go down that low. The other thing is I'm going to put a bead on plate on the top of this ring, adding filler material secondly. Before I do that, I take my my Easy Wipes, and I know you've seen me use these many, many times, but it's got isopropyl alcohol on it. It's lint-free, and I'm going to wipe the surface, make sure I've got no contaminants or anything that's going to cause me any problems. I'm going to take this tube, wipe it down. And then I'm ready to go. Now this material is 304 stainless steel. I'm using a 308L filler material. Now the filler material is only 035 diameter. And again, the first bead is with no amperage whatsoever. When I say amperage, I mean no filler whatsoever, and it's just going to be low amperage. So I may start off and I don't know what the amperage is going to be until it shows up on the screen. So here we go. So you can take a look on the screen. This is really about as low as I can go without losing the arc. So I don't know what that is. That may be 4 amps, 5 amps. But anyway, it doesn't create a puddle. So this time I'm going to go ahead and arc start, and I'll go ahead and create a puddle this time. Very, very stable arc. Again, it's just a bead on plate. If you're doing gun repairs and things like that, this is a good way to go. So now I'm going to taper off and see how low it'll go before the arc extinguishes, and it actually does a very fine job tailing out. Okay, so I've just got a surface condition where I just barely got it to puddle. Again, I'm just testing the machine to see if it starts easy, if it starts at low amps, and when I back off, does it create a crater crack or a crater puddle of any kind? And it doesn't. It actually has some pretty good features that way. So now I'm going to jump onto this part right here, and it's an edge weld. I'm going to add filler material. Yeah, the puddle is very stable. The arc is stable. I'm adding filler to the top, and it's not eroding away. That's critical, especially you get into some of the thin wall applications. And this isn't extremely thin, but at least it'll tell you a little bit about the machine and what it'll do and what it won't do. So it laid the puddle very nicely. I don't have any wowies in there, and that's usually the hard part. I do still feel that the foot pedal that I'm using is just got a little rough motion to it. So the sensitivity of being able to drop down to 3 amps or smoothly increase or decrease amp, you can feel it in the foot pedal. So I still believe one is this is the right torch for this machine. And if you go to get this torch, Weld.com will give you all the information. If you go to get this torch, one thing I want to caution you on is if you order a torch, that's all you get is the torch. So if you order the torch package, and the package sometimes is called a bundle, you get the torch and the cable, but you won't get a connector. You have to identify that in your purchase. And now the connector for this machine, all you have to do is there's a place there where it says contact us and say, I've got an Everlast 210 EXT, and I want that 17 torch and cable and whatever that connector is. Well, it turns out it's called an SL8QD. So if you put that in there, we'll know exactly what it is. That's a quick disconnect for the front of your machine. So I want to thank you for watching TIG Time. I'm Mr. TIG.